I'm going to share what got one police candidate instantly removed from the hiring process. I'm going to explain how, but I just want you to know that this video isn't just for those applying to be a police officer. It could be for anybody applying to any job in both the private or the public sector, especially if you're applying to more than one business or organization or police service. So this is something that actually happened, and when I brought it up on LinkedIn, there was a heated discussion around it involving police officers from different police services right across the entire country. And listen, if you're involved in hiring, you're a recruiter, you're a police officer, or you're planning to apply, I'd love to know your thoughts on this as well. So a few months back, there was a situation where somebody applied to be a police officer with a fairly well-known medium-sized police service. Before somebody applies, you know how much they have to go through just to be eligible to apply. There's tests, certificates, training. Some people planned and trained for this moment their entire lives. Everything was great. They included all the required documents, and believe me, there is a lot. They appeared to be qualified. There was no red flags in terms of their behavior or their past. They looked like a good candidate. However, they did one thing which got them removed from the hiring process. Their application was immediately removed. They could reapply, but it was moved. They put the wrong police service name down on the application forms. So for example, if you're applying, you indicate somewhere on the forms or your cover letter what you're applying for. And this person was applying to one police service in particular, but on their cover letter, they indicated that they were interested in applying for a completely different police service. Well, how could this happen? Well, obviously, this person is applying to more than one police service, and there's nothing wrong with that. They could apply to multiple police services. But they made the mistake of failing to edit one of the documents that they send in included with their application package. So why is this a big deal? And is it enough of a big deal to get somebody kicked out of the process altogether? Well, one recruiting unit, police recruiting unit, said, yes, it is enough. And does it make it worse, or is it more serious if someone does this on a police application compared to any other application for another organization? We're all human. We all make mistakes. Some of them seem very simple or minuscule, but we all know by now how keyboard warriors just love to jump online when somebody makes a simple mistake, especially if you're presenting an opposing view. So if I make a good point, but somebody doesn't like the point that I made, and I may have made a spelling error or any type of grammar error, they jump on you for that. So yeah, we know it is kind of a big deal. And you know what? I've said this in the past before. We're all just tapping away on a little piece of glass most of the time. We're human beings. We make mistakes. Okay, calm down. It's not a spelling bee. We all know how closely police officers are monitored, and I'm not even against that, and how every little thing can be scrutinized. I've said before, everything can and will be used against you. So when you're writing reports, everything has to be pretty close to perfect. I've made many mistakes, both as a police officer and a civilian, and I'll continue to do so. Here's an embarrassing one. One of my first collisions that I attended and I did the report on, I had the front and the rear of the car completely mixed up on my accident report, almost as if it was being looked at upside down. It changed the whole dynamic of the collision, and the case was ultimately thrown out in court. I was a little embarrassed, but the case was thrown out in court. I didn't do it on purpose, but it happened. It was my first time on the stand. I was embarrassed. It was a mistake, but it was an honest mistake. Now that's for a traffic violation. But when it comes to something more serious, man, I mean, it's no laughing matter. When a mistake is made, it could mean someone is walking free who would otherwise be incarcerated for months or even years. So of course an officer's notes and their paperwork should be perfect, not just for the suspect or the accused, but for the victim, the families of the victim who want and deserve justice, whatever that may look like. I'm sure in other corporate structures such as accounting firms or banks, insurance companies, it's the same thing. One small mistake can mean a claim or a loan is ultimately denied, affecting someone's life in a positive or a negative way. I'm sure of it. The fact is, a mistake, however simple as you or I may see it, could have a life-changing impact on someone else. If they're starting off like that, getting the name of the police service wrong in an application process, would you take a chance on someone like that? Is that indicative of how absent-minded they may be, and they'll have problems like that their entire career? Withdrawing the application from the process completely. Was that going too far? Did that police service in particular do the right thing? Or did they make a mistake, possibly losing out on an applicant who could have had a long, successful career, doing themselves and the police service proud? There's a shortage of police police officers everywhere, right across the entire country. Police services are hiring in large numbers, and a lot of them are having a hard time finding suitable candidates who want to join. I put together my top 6 tips for aspiring police officers, which I'm going to include here. I actually added it to a long playlist, so please check it out. And until the next video, be safe out there, look after one another, and perhaps we will see you again.